Shalom, shalom, shalom. I am Shir Yeshua Judah, and this is a Truth Be Told Flex Podcast Extra. I got a couple of articles that I would like to run by you. Um, it's about the Biden administration again. In my 49 years of living, I must say that this is probably the worst presidential regime I've ever seen in my life. We have a president whom the world do not respect. He has the lowest popularity numbers of any president that has ever been in office. We don't know if he's here half the time. And what I mean by here, as far as his sanity, there's clearly something going on with Joe. Clearly. We talked about it once on the show, on the podcast, how, Joe used to be very sharp. He had a way with words. He had a little bit of charisma about himself. Here lately, I don't even believe that we have 50% Joe. It's more like 30% Joe. And he's just not all the way there. And for them to come at us and say that, that this guy's going to run again, like already, the other nations are laughing at America because of the leadership that we have on display. The Saudis have been offended by him. Russia and China are both, leading the way in that the dominance that America has had over the last 50 plus years has come to an end. The BRIC nations are getting stronger. And so, so what are we saying? To me, to say that this guy is going to run again, to me, it sounds like that they're throwing in a towel. Now, all of that I'm saying, I'm not saying in the hopes that this place be saved. That's not what I'm saying, because Bible prophecy tells us that Babylon the Great is going to burn with fervent heat. So we understand what's going on. We see what's happening, and there's nothing that we can do about it. And I'm making mention of all of this because it's going to be. Now, we have all been seeing the collapsing of these banks. These banks are folding. The last that I checked, I think is like 200 banks here recently have defaulted or have closed or have not been able to sustain business. And so at the same time all of this is happening, we see that interest rates are going up, inflation is going up, the cost of living is going up, everything is going up, the cost of foods is going up, everything is going up, and then here come Biden, right? Concern for the black and brown communities when it comes to home ownership. Now, the question I have for that is, why now? That was the question that I'm asking. As I'm reading this, I'm asking myself, is this cat doing this for votes, or is it a trap? And I asked that question to an individual, and the answer that the person gave me when I asked the question was both. Doing it for votes, and it is a trap. Let's get into this article here about the Biden administration. All right, let me pull this up. Here we go. Homeowners that may not have perfect credit scores, right? Now we know in order, your credit score got to show that you are responsible enough to pay the loan back. It don't matter how much money you make. It don't matter, pretty much your status. The thing is that to buy a home, $100-something-thousand home, $200-something-thousand home, $300-something-thousand home, you got to have the money, of course, to be able to put the down payment down for the home, right? And show that you'll be able to, that you can pay it back. But you also have to have the credit history to show that you have been responsible enough to pay back the loans that you have already had out, right? And so the Biden administration, they are raising the cost for home buyers with good credit to help risky borrowers. They're going to raise the cost for home buyers with good credit to help risky borrowers. Nothing about that title makes sense to me. I've read this article at least twice trying to get some understanding. I've watched a few videos, and when these people, from Fannie Mae and from FHA, when they get together and they make these videos, they're not answering any questions. All they're doing is talking around in circles, right? And so there's no clear definitive of what it is that they're trying to do. I say that it's a trap. I smell a rat. I mean, excuse me. How can I not smell a rat when this is their history? To go off into a history lesson, I'm just going to ask you. You can go down that rabbit hole on your own, but you ask yourself, in the 200 plus years of this corporation that's called America, when has it ever given us a reason to even think about to trust them? Now, who remember 2008? We had an economic crunch in 2008. It was bad in 2008. I'm sure that somebody knew someone, if you was not affected by what happened in 2008, when they allowed certain individuals to purchase homes under what was called an adjustable mortgage rate. You had all of these people in 2008. They was buying these homes and they had low mortgages, but then 1 month, all of a sudden, bam, the mortgage goes up. Then it goes up another month. Then it goes up another month. And what was happening is that it went up so much that many of these people that bought these homes under the legislation of the government that allowed them to get into these homes, right? That allowed them into these homes, they was not able to keep the houses. So a lot of these houses went right back to the bank. And these people were in worse shape than they were before they even went and purchased the houses. Many of them did not know that this was going to happen. Wasn't understanding what an adjustable mortgage plan was. Many of them didn't even read the fine print. Neither was it explained to them exactly what they were getting into. So once again, here we are. Biden raised the cost for home buyers with good credit. People take care of what it is that they have purchased, to pay back the loan in which they have taken out to buy the house, to help risky borrowers, people who have not proven themselves. Now, the history of this country, this is a country who redlined for years, who told home developers and insurance companies not to sell houses to black people in certain zoning areas. So now all of a sudden you are concerned that you have put countless amount of energy in to make sure that they didn't have homes. You all of a sudden concerned houses. Make that make sense. It sounds a little suspicious to Shia Yeshu. So I just want you to think about what's happening right now. There is a scripture we're going to go to 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 42. I'm going to read 41 as well. It says, he that selleth Let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. You see, this is in scripture. He that occupied merchandise as he that hath no profit by it, and he that buildeth as he that had not dwelt therein. He that soweth as if he should not reap, so also he that planted the vineyard as he that shall not gather the grape. I smell a trap with this plan that Biden is trying to put on our people. But behold, the most I say that my people are led as sheep to slaughter. These banks are already closing. Interest rates are going up. We're on the brink of a recession. We're already in inflation. We're on the brink of a recession. And now you want to help risky buyers, right? You want to help risky buyers to be able to get into a home that they probably cannot afford. And you're going to raise the price on people who have worked hard to obtain a good credit that they may be able to get a house. It makes no sense to me. Because 2008, a lot of people was left in a worse condition or a worse state than they were before they purchased their homes. So be mindful of what it is that this government is doing. That. They have not given us any reason whatsoever to believe in anything that they're trying to do. So yeah, I would say pump your brakes, because many of you I know want to be able to buy homes. Many of you, you know, this has been a dream that you have had for so long, but you've got to ask yourself the question, what is this administration really trying to do? Because at what point have this administration ever let it be known to us that they care about us? And like in the words of Michael Jackson, they don't care about us. Did not then, but not later. Now let's move on to this next story. This next story was something that was given to me by my brother Oxify Yeshehu. And when he sent it to me, I really can't repeat what it is that I said, but just by the title alone, it just made me shake my head. Now, again, this is coming out of the administration of Joe Biden. It says Biden administration offers $500,000 to teach transgender students. Now, we live in a time where everything is supposed to be inclusive, and we're not supposed to be putting one group of people over another. We live in a time where, you know, that everybody is supposed to be moving the same according, but here Biden administration is offering $500,000 to teachers in Pakistan with transgender students. What for? Teach them to read. Yeah. Check this out. It says the United States has allotted $500,000 to teachers who provide English language instructions to transgender students in Pakistan. The funds were allocated through the U.S. Embassy in Pakistan Regional English Language Office and will be awarded following a competition in which organizations can submit proposal that addresses the grant three components. Now, when I read this, I said to myself, so there's another article. Hold on. There's one that's even better than this. Hold on. Let me find that article right quick. This is not going to take long at all. At all. This is not going to take long. I just read it, so it got to be somewhere close. Here it is, right here. This is the one that I really wanted. The language is a little different. And remember, we always tell you here on Truth Be Told, listen to the language. Listen to the language and what these articles be saying, right? So listen to the language of this. Biden administration helped in transgender learn English as part of a $500,000. It's Washington. The Biden administration is offering up $500,000 to grant money to English teaching programs in Pakistan. The grant program emphasizing teaching to transgender youths. So if you're not transgender, the importance of you learning how to read is not as important as it is to the transgenders. That's what this is saying. It says in a notice of funding opportunity, first reported in Islam Abad, Pakistan, detailed the 500,000 grant program. The Regional English Language Office in Pakistan announced the program on Tuesday, saying it will increase participants' English language proficiency, employability, and leadership and critical thinking skills, enabling them to become productive members of their community and society. The Regional English Language Office, Pakistan purpose in funding projects to improve human capacity by creating a better education and more skillful workforce, the announcement reads. And the qualification is simply be transgender. What sense do that make? If you're transgender, we're donating money to make you a better, a more productive human being in the system. This is coming out of the Biden administration. This is why Yasha said you are of your father, the devil, who was a murderer and a thief from the beginning. Because you uphold and you regard everything in this world that opposes the Most High. You all over here, America, in it don't have nothing to do with you pushing an agenda in a Muslim country. The question that I have is, how is it that we even talking about transgenderism in Pakistan anyway? And yet you feel the need to donate money to the teachers so that they could teach the transgenders how to read. What about all the other kids? So what you're doing is you are, what's the word that I'm looking for? You are giving perks to, are making it more attractive for the children over there to be transgender as well. If that's not a devil, I don't know what a devil is. Now, my purpose is not to come here and to stay long and continue and harp on these and talk about these. I just want to put these out into into the atmosphere. Put these into the atmosphere. Let you talk about them. See what you got to say about it. So before I sign off, I got a couple of questions. Is the Biden administration concerned about high risk borrowers being able to buy houses? Is he legislating this or trying to get it legislated for votes? Or is it a trap? Or could he really care? Finally, right? Which I don't think so. And is he off of his rocker talking about the Biden administration again? With all that's going on in the world, the price of gas rising, the price of foods rising, China and Russia coming together to come across this, to come against this place, and we're losing our grips with the Saudis, which means that the price of gas is going to continue to rise, and with everything that's going in the world, why are we concerned with transgenders in Pakistan? Give me your thoughts, people. Talk to me. This is Shia Yashub Judah. This is the Truth Be Told Flex Podcast Extra. Catch us every Wednesday live on YouTube and the Saya TV. Where to be myself and Ayo Ben Yahoo. Be Told Flex Podcast. Till we meet again. This is Shia Yashub Judah.